My name is Marielle, three-time experienced surrogate and the intake manager with Surrogacy Mentor and Modern Parent Mentor. And today we are talking about matching criteria. And I'm going to dive a little bit deeper here into a very important matching criteria, and that is embryos. Now you may be thinking, how are embryos a matching criteria? So when we talk about embryos as a screening or matching criteria, there are a couple of different reasons why this is an important part of the matching process. And before we even talk about transferring embryos, I always like to bring up the point of the embryos themselves, even prior to matching. A great question to ask your coordinator: are their embryos already created, or are they in the process of creating them? And if they are in the process of creating the embryos, where are they at in that process? Do they need a sperm donor? Do they need an egg donor? When is that expected to happen? All of these things, because there are certain instances where you may be presented a set of intended parents who are in the process of creating embryos and do not have those embryos already created. And so that also factors into your timeline as a surrogate of whether you are hoping to really kind of get the ball rolling and wanting to roll directly into an embryo transfer, or if you are willing to kind of take things slow and wait for the process of embryo creation. This is a super important one to kind of have on the brain. Timeline is a big factor when it comes to embryos before you even get to the matching call. So kind of thinking in your mind where you stand on that and where your timeline is super important with finding the right match to match your timeline, and that starts with those embryos.